Hey, welcome to Midnight at the Crossroads. I'm Shawn.
I'm David.
I'm Jake.
Welcome to the show. Also follow us on Facebook at Midnight at the Crossroads Radio Show and YouTube, our YouTube channel, Midnight at the Crossroads Radio.
Yeah, y'all, you know
Really?
what I have done? How long have we been doing this radio show?
A long time. Over 10 years.
Oh, counting stops and starts?
Yeah. How long have we been doing our radio show?
2000.
10.
When I met you in 2005, you were doing it, I think.
Yeah, we were.
2006 is actually when I met you.
Well, so how long is that?
12 years?
Woo!
Let's count it on our fingers.
So 12 years. Well, the
My
first
math might
time
be
in
wrong.
12 years I've done something I have never done.
What's that?
Sing Yesterday's Wine on radio?
No, I've done that many a times.
Okay.
I have listened to our radio shows.
Holy cow.
First
Holy
time ever.
cow.
Really?
Yes, I never listened to them. I was listening to snippets, like the spelling bee and certain stuff, but I've actually taken the time to listen to shows.
Have to.
How'd
It
that
makes you
turn out,
better.
Shawn?
It was their, not saying it was us. Back then, our Raylene Allen show was fantastic.
Yeah, we were much more polished back
Yeah,
then.
our shows was very good. When I say we was funny, we was really funny back
Yeah,
then.
it was actually a good show.
Yeah, it mean,
Jake, you're saying that we're not polished now?
No.
Really?
Okay, Shawn, you just recently listened to all of it.
I can tell you this: there is a huge drop off from when we was doing the shows back in the day, and we came back now. Now our first show on the new ones, I can tell you, wasn't very good. I didn't like them, but we progressively got better.
Yeah, we had to get back in the flow.
And then as soon as we got even that show night that we all got mad afterwards, it was a good show.
Yeah.
But at the end of the shows, like at the end of our shows, we dropped it. We started getting where we needed to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was good. I don't know if people really want to hear us anymore. If we're still good, but I still enjoy doing it.
Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So I guess we should start the show now, right?
I think there's a lot of people that still want to listen to us.
Do you?
Yes. I really do.
I mean, there's a lot of topics
I
out there to
really
talk
do.
about.
I think there's more than you think. There's a lot to talk about. Nobody's even, there's a few people that are touching on it. Everybody's avoiding it.
I can tell you the new show is not very paranormal.
Our
So
new
far.
shows?
That last series was not paranormal, and maybe we should be.
Why?
The show, the one we did with Callie, when we interviewed and did the show, that was a really good show. The sound was horrible, but we didn't have a way to record.
Okay, Jake, give me your definition of paranormal.
Like in...
The paranormal definition 15 years ago versus today is day and night.
Well, if you're talking about context, if you're just talking about paranormal, it just means something that's, well, technically above normal, so not understood.
But
Preternatural is a much better name.
what is it?
Preternatural is really kind of what it is, which is it's not understood yet.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Are we talking about in the context of a radio show?
I'm talking about everything, all the spectrum, everything. Paranormal from what it was 15 years ago to what it is now.
Are you talking about like the paranormal community?
Everything.
I have no idea.
Radio, paranormal, people going out looking for ghosts, the unexplained,
We had a meeting with Nathan and them.
Nathan,
Hump, you're kind of leading that charge. How's that going with the group and everything?
I like the concept and I like the idea that Nathan has put together of having one society or one group, one association that we can all be a part of. The groups throughout the state getting together, kind of, as a group effort, keeping your same group names and stuff, but having I called it like an association that you can work through and stuff. And I think that needed to be done years ago. I just think a lot of people they didn't want to come together.
It got very territorial.
Correct. People are very territorial about their stuff.
We were kind of territorial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were.
but we're also
little.
mature and a lot older and a lot wiser. We are very wise
A
now.
lot more camo pants.
Yeah, I would like to continue to investigate and getting back into it a little bit because we are wiser, but I'd want to do it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
a more professional way than we've ever done it in our entire lives. But we've always been professional. We've done a good job. But at the same time, I think at my age, I want to have a different approach to it.
I'm going to try something different.
Yeah. And you know, I have I think we all have got, you know, I keep hearing a lot of people talk, you know, we've got over 20 years of almost investigative experience.
What more than that?
I mean, more than that, but technically, if you think about it, that's pretty good.
Yeah, very.
Would you say SPR, was it 2005 or 2006 you got together?
Well,
5 going into 6.
well, no, actually, when we rolled into, when Jake came on, we was already been doing it for about, what, a year?
A year, yeah.
And then we was doing it before, just on our own.
Yeah.
Probably about a year. Yeah, because we did it about a year before we even started Southern Paranormal Investigation Team.
I'd say that sounds right.
Yeah. So that's really good.
It's been a long time. When did we officially kind of quit? Was it when you moved to Hollow Home?
Yes.
That's like a good way to date it.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
But we never really quit.
We didn't really quit.
I took a 2-year break.
well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the word, but
When
you
we
know
came
what I
to
mean.
Millbrook, that's
Hiatus.
when we quit. Yeah.
Hiatus. We went on
Yeah.
hiatus.
Well, man, I think we all needed that break. I don't know. I think it was just something that we had to do.
Just a lot of crazy stuff, man. Like, what exactly would have happened otherwise? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where do you see yourself had you not taken that horrible mistake?
Oh,
But what do we? But mistakes are necessary. Let me go ahead and say that. Obviously,
if I wouldn't have made my horrible mistake,
Mm-hmm.
where we would have been, could be limitless.
I wonder if like something else would have happened where I don't see that not happening.
Yeah.
It was time.
It had to happen. I mean, that mistake I made with her is just part of the process of where we're going.
Yeah.
I'm a better person from it.
I mean, you had to have that in you.
Yeah. Yeah. That in me, the raping I took from
Wow.
her. Yeah, definitely. What a sucker. Wow. But you know what?
Not to bring that up again, but like
But-
I'm
but
just
you
looking at everything.
You have to bring it up because it was just such a point
Yeah.
when she shows up and everything kind of goes all over the place from that point on.
Like the trouble I kind of have with it is I just have this feeling that we did what we were supposed to do. So what do we do now?
Yeah.
Like the main part is over.
See, in my feelings, David, you might even kind of chime in on this one.
And I could be completely wrong.
I think.
I just mean in what we call the paranormal. I don't mean necessarily like radio shows or whatever.
Every time I
podcasts.
hear that I was like a ghost hunter or paranormal,
You
I don't know
cringe.
why I cringe.
I do too.
Because I don't see I don't see any of us three ever that. Although we did that and we had a team of that,
Absolutely we did.
but we did it. I'm saying, but we did it so much more.
Very much so.
I guess this might be a country thing to say. Now, with us, we worked cold cases, we worked UFO phenomena, we worked crypto, we worked demonic cases, we had ghosts, anything supernatural, anything unexplained. We dove in and worked it.
Occult cases.
Tons of occult research.
We never shied away from everything, which I think I'm proud of.
Yeah.
We tried everything.
I will chime into this. You talking about the break and leaving and all that. I think we were absolutely due for that, to
Yeah.
recharge our batteries. Everybody had to heal. We had to get, recharged. We never really left it.
No.
But at the
And
same
we've
time,
come back into me from even starting the radio show over, and even some of those smaller cases, or at least just talking to people. We're still in it.
But,
we're
but
still in it.
very much at the same time, we don't pick up where we left off.
Oh,
Like what we put
no.
down can't be picked
No.
up again.
No, but we
So
don't
it's
want.
like what are we doing?
But see,
That's
Would
the
you really
newness
want
of
that?
it.
But I don't. But that's the problem we're at right now.
Yeah.
We're going somewhere. We know we got to do something. We know
Right.
we're fixing to go somewhere, but I just don't know what it is.
Exactly. It's just, we got to figure it out. So everybody excuse us while we have breaks in between shows and stuff, but we'll always upload something.
Yeah,
You know your Crossroads video is doing phenomenal.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's great.
People are still commenting on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We just got to keep plugging with that. I've got a ton more stories that we need to record.
Now, I'm going to ask you guys,
Okay.
since we're on this topic, there was someone that emailed us that wanted to know the Crossroads ritual. Now, I didn't answer them because
Yes.
I can't feel right about it.
Yeah.
And they weren't, it did not appear they were from the U.S.
Okay.
So, like, their traditions are going to be way different anyway.
Yeah.
And that'll definitely affect it. Would you ever show someone?
No.
I didn't think so.
Why would you? Think about that. Why would you show somebody that?
And since people, and you might listen to this, you might not after you hear the Crossroads story, because people tend to kind of flow from the Crossroads story to our other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to them why you wouldn't. What's the danger? Because they're like, hey, it's my life.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with the Crossroads. You think about the Crossroads stories where you can get a rock from a running stream, and if you have a wart or like a skin tag that you want to get rid of, you'll rub that wart or skin tag with that rock you got from a running stream, and then you'll take it to the Crossroads and bury it, and that wart and stuff will go away. And there's tons of little things you can do, like magic-wise, at Crossroads, right? But that is the essential place to go if you want to conjure something. And if you actually go and do the ritual correct, and the ritual can be done in like several different ways, but do it to the point where you do it to open the door and bring them forth to you. It always comes with consequences, and the consequences are always life-changing.
And it's not like you write down instructions on a piece of paper and that's a thing.
No.
That when you get into something like that, that's so personal. Like, it would change with every person doing it.
It has to. See, that's the key to. That's the magic to the Crossroads. It's like, if you gonna make me tell some of the stuff to it, but that's part about it. That's what's really the magic. You have to make it personal.
Well, as long as you don't give them the whole key.
Well, think about like Tommy Johnson. Tommy Johnson was the first one that did it. Everybody talks about Robert Johnson, but Tommy Johnson didn't die at 27. He lived to the ripe old age, but his vice killed him, and he could not get enough alcohol. He would drink basically kerosene canned heat.
Yeah.
He suffered from it. But what he did get his musical history, and if there wasn't a Tommy Johnson, there wouldn't have been a Robert Johnson.
Mm-mm.
And if there wasn't, let's say, another musical act, there wouldn't have been this next one. If it wasn't the original guy that did it, in the 1700s, the violinist, whatever, every time you do it, you open the door for somebody else. Then that next person does it, and it opens the door for somebody else again.
And you can trace the roots back to Africa. You can trace it back to Germany, the Eastern European countries.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have traditions around that place about the Crossroads, and you're taking something basically that's in the collective unconscious, so to speak, and that you're using the power of that iconography.
Yeah. And they say, the original, the one that Robert Johnson did, where basically he got a black cat bones. He takes his guitar to the Crossroads. You have to be there before midnight. You sit there at the edge of the thing. You bury. I think that you're supposed to bury those cat bones before midnight.
Right.
And then you sit there and you start playing your guitar. And then as soon as it hits after midnight, a car will pull up. Somebody will get out. They'll get your guitar. They'll tune it and hand it back to you. And basically, you sell your soul, or you give that right without any words ever passed. You do it with thought. And so much in this field of paranormal, in the research, and even in our personal lives, we affect each other, and we affect our lives with our intentions. And like when we would work private cases, when we go and deal with things, our intentions would affect their intentions of what was in the homes and stuff. And so many things right now, a lot of the cases, I know y'all, we're going to get on a subject a little bit later on mental health, but think about your intentions and what you do and how it shapes your life. You know, how it shapes your household, your family, you know, and where you're at. You know, it comes in a lot of different areas and places. And that Crossroads thing is, I always tell people, if you're interested in it, research it. Look at the stories and legends. But let me tell you, it's true and it's real. It's definitely so.
And I think the reason we get a lot of hits on that is it was like there's been a trend on YouTube. I don't know if it's still even a thing, but people doing these little rituals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Charlie thing, I think is what it was.
Yes.
The Midnight Game, I think, is one of them. And this kind of falls into it, and like you start treading this weird line where like you have to answer, is it real? Can you do? Well, yeah, but it probably doesn't work like you think it does.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Like I don't think you can take a camera to it and gather what's happening.
That's exactly right. I mean, think about it. Every case, we have never investigated one UFO phenomenon or anything with their cameras, their phones, anything worked, or they had time to film it.
And even like, say, the rare occurrence where you'd have a camera pointed at something that went on, a lot of times it wouldn't capture it. Like, I just don't think you're seeing it in the visible spectrum that a camera records.
Yeah, no. I think...
On a lot of things, anyway. I mean, like, if you start getting into spiritual realm, which sometimes the UFOs fall into that, that's a whole other show, but...
And I think it does, and I would love to have a next show we can kind of talk about that a little bit.
That would be a great next show.
Yeah, that would be a great next show. But here's the thing: if you want to experience it, you can't document it at the time. You can document it afterwards.
The only thing that really works is writing stuff down.
Yeah, and here's the magic of our stories. And we really got to start focusing on these stories. The magic of our stories is we're telling you and sharing with you what we experienced. And if we would have tried to record it, document it, we wouldn't have had that experience.
Very much so.
Well, you know, I would take documentation over a picture or a recording any day. I mean, I really would, Jake.
Yeah.
The documentation, the story, that's things that I really enjoy when you're investigating. Not, I got an EVP, or look at this, and you got a camera, you know, full of dust, or you've got a manipulated picture that you know, something's happened.
Or you caught a weird shadow.
Correct. And there was somebody standing behind you.
Like,
and then, you know, let's look at the facts. Shawn, how many views do you think the Crossroads Story has had?
I don't have a clue.
I've got it. I've got it down 5,571 views.
That is amazing.
On YouTube.
Wow.
And you know, for our listeners, we are on YouTube. You can pull us up at Midnight at the Crossroads Radio and Down at the Crossroads Radio. We used to use Down at the Crossroads. Now we revamped on YouTube.
We needed a longer name. Yeah.
Yes, even a longer name. And also our Facebook, our personal Facebooks. We have a Midnight at the Crossroads Facebook page that we run stories. We'll push them back out. And I usually do it once a week. And there's a lot of information that we have on Midnight at the Crossroads Facebook.
We just don't have enough stories out there. We got too many stories to tell.
We don't. I mean, that's what I've been begging for you.
Yeah.
From you for a while.
And here's the thing. I'm at the point now that I feel more comfortable with telling some of our stories.
Some of them you just needed time and distance.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happened to us. We needed that time and distance.
Yeah.
And from the shows that we did, 6-7 months ago, then we took a break again, and now we're back. I think we needed that break too. There's a lot that went on in my life a lot of things that had to change.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of changes across the board for everybody.
Yeah.
What's the one story you would want to hear, Jake? That we could tell.
The ones that I like are usually really short. Like,
I got
one of my favorites that I think we've actually told on this show was, and you'd have to find a way to make it how you want it, but is the thing in Chattanooga that came in the room.
Yeah.
Because, like, you'd have to... That... Maybe the telling of it isn't as creepy as actually experiencing that.
Yeah.
But that was probably one of the creepiest things I've ever experienced.
I think...
Because a lot of these things, like these stories, like I have my doubts.
Yeah.
Like you question yourself.
You got to
Did I
question
really
yourself.
see that? Did I really experience what I think I experienced in my head? But that, no, you saw it. We all saw it.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point, because what we saw questions our reality, because it was in the physical realm.
Yeah.
And it wasn't ghostly. It didn't feel ghostly. I mean, it felt like a true vampire type entity. You know how you hear stories about it was a vampire.
And if we're going to go this far, go ahead and just whip one out. Tell it quick.
You know, the story. What? Whip it out.
Whip it out.
Yeah.
Whip it out.
I'm sorry.
Well, here's the thing. Me, Jake, the lady I was married to, and Jeremy was in Chattanooga doing was there at the Chattanooga event.
Mm-hmm.
And the everything was really crowded. It was a popular event. We was like on the second or third floor. I don't even remember.
Pretty sure it was third.
Yeah. And the way we would sleep at that time is like me and my wife here. Jeremy had his bed, and Jake would sleep at the foot on his air mattress in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a really busy evening. We was tired, and we basically turned in early that night.
We did. Yeah, I think I was actually sick.
Yeah, you were. You were. So we basically just went to sleep, and I can remember it so vividly. It's almost scary to talk about. I hate to say scary. I don't want to sound like a bitch, but I was scared.
I was scared.
and what happened was it was up in the night. I opened my eyes, and there's somebody in our room that was standing right over Jake's head at the corner of the bed. And I'm laying there, and I'm processing. I was like, okay, I can see Jeremy, I see Jake's head, and then I can feel the presence of my wife behind me at that time.
And it was kind of short. So, and his wife at the time was very short.
Yeah. Yes.
So me and Jeremy both thought it was his wife.
Yeah. It was about her height.
Yeah.
It's probably 5 foot.
Mm-hmm.
About 5 foot.
And it had a big head, but I just thought maybe her hair was tied back or something. You know how that looks.
And it was very alien.
Yeah, it looked like a dang gray.
Yeah. So as Jake says that, as I lay there, for my first inkling is that person on his knees, or were they standing? And I could see that person begin to stand. So as you watching it, you start to process, and then you start to think. Then you start to try to rationalize. Is somebody accidentally come in a room, or what's going on? Because they was physically there. I mean, it was like they was watching over. They was looking down at Jake, and then they would to me. They would look down at Jake and turn and look toward Jeremy and I at that corner. They was kind of like checking us out.
And then just standing there, and I was like, "What is she doing?" Like I figured she'd go walk into the bathroom and start to get ready, because she had to get up early to open up a very early paranormal track.
Yeah.
So she had to be up at like 6 or something. We weren't going to get up that early.
So I instantly I made up a plan that I would scream.
Mm-hmm.
I would scream at it, throw it off, and then see what I needed to do from there. I screamed, and it in a blink of an eye, it raced by us. You could see our bedroom door open. You could hear the knob turn. You hear the door open. The light of the hotel hallway came into our room, and the door shut. But it all happened in a blink of an eye.
Like what we were seeing was basically a silhouette. The room was pitch dark, except for just a little bit of light coming in around the drapes.
Yes.
I was perpendicular to the foot of the bed, so I had a perfect view just down the hallway of the doorway.
Yeah.
So when I saw it and the door opened, it was still just completely jet black. And it glided. It didn't bob up and down like it was walking.
Yes.
So yeah, that was sphincter tightening.
So Jake made a great point. It moved, and I can tell you what it reminds me of now as I sit here just talking about it and trying to relive it. Is that I always tell that New Orleans stories about the vampire priestess or queen that came in, that little short lady, that girl. It kind of reminds me of that. And when she moved by our bed, she did glide away. I never saw her come in. I saw her come out. And we checked with the hotel security, didn't we, see if anybody came in at our doors. We did everything we could.
So right after that, because we did not immediately jump to, hey, that was paranormal.
Oh, never. I mean, we were still trying to think.
Somebody immediately got on the phone and called security.
Yeah, it was Jeremy because and then we
Because
realized
we thought someone had walked into our room drunk mistakenly.
yeah. And then when I screamed, Jeremy was wide awake watching it. You was wide awake watching it, and I was wide awake watching it.
Yeah, like we were all awakened at the same time. Your wife at the time had actually taken the sleeping pills, so
Yeah.
she was out.
Yes, but you know the thing, what's weird about it is that it gave off a feeling of a predator.
Yeah, it was very threatening.
Yeah,
like
very
that's kind of
threatening.
what woke you up. Was
Yeah.
that aura?
And I really feel, I know you think it could have been, some people say it was an alien, it could have been an alien type thing, but I really feel it was some type of vampire type entity.
That would make a lot of sense.
But we wasn't the only ones. There was reports throughout the night somebody was running up and down our hallway.
See, now you're going to bring that guy into it, because I was totally thinking about that guy.
Yeah, and then the guy next to us had a paranormal celebrity had some experiences next to us. I'm not gonna give his name or anything.
I have his voice in my head, and it's like, oh, that's just my ghost that travels with me everywhere.
Yes, and that's when that person instantly lose credibility with us.
Yeah, and you're like,
shit.
yeah, but we say weird stuff, but at least we don't use that voice.
Yes, exactly. But that was an experience. That was a haunting experience, and we really need to record that story, not just tell it
Yes.
like we're doing it, but do a real story on that.
Do a real one, yeah.
That would be a good one. Huh? What's yours?
I actually got 3.
Oh yeah, let's roll.
Not in order.
Okay.
The Jack, Alabama story case.
Yes, that's a really
Can you
good
put all that together? Like,
You'd have, I mean, that would be a whole show on its own
you have
because it
to
was
try and read
different-
that. I don't remember
different
much.
chapters to it. Well, it took 2 different nights.
I remember kind of like what we experienced at the end, and that's it. And I remember
Jake.
Dustin saw somebody.
I remember.
That was in that back. The back.
The back
room.
place.
Yeah.
Which we're talking like the audience knows what we are talking about, and they don't. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay, Jack, Alabama. That was basically a very dark, demonic case. We'll just go ahead and throw things in that basket.
Basket.
And it was 2 trailers on a acreage of land.
Yes.
Like, what was it? Like 5 acres?
Yeah, the family.
It was a lot of. I mean, to me, it was a lot of land. I was like in a country, you know, where
It's very rural.
2 trailers together, probably about
And that was a few
25,
visits.
30 yards apiece apart.
But the story really takes a weird turn because the property was actually purchased from the Catholic Church.
Yes.
Yeah, by that family.
And there was a little circle cut out in the woods of that property. You remember?
Yeah.
Where there was like a fire pit, which always made you wonder. And the family had the land, and then they ended up coming into some money. They ended up clearing it up and putting the 2 trailers there. One of the brothers who first started having experiences was with a Gulf War veteran.
Right, and he was suffering from PTSD, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And when they dug in and put in a septic system, they dug up Catholic relics.
Very Catholic relic.
An interesting thing about that PTSD note, I'm not sure if it's still in the definition, but when I took a psychology course and we talked about it, that paranormal experiences was actually in the definition of some of the symptoms.
It is, but when we had that case and what we call PTSD, you know, it was not as popular as it has been in the past 5 years.
Sure.
Now I want you to remember that this was like before everything was labeled PTSD. So
Yeah.
this kid was going through a lot of stuff.
I
Well-
mean, like
well, you
straight
know,
up what the
Yes,
classical.
Correct.
Yeah, but you know the main house, now here's the family. They're very credible.
Yeah,
But
salt of the earth.
But the brother that lived in the other trailer, the military veteran, he literally was to the point where he moved his chair to the center of the living room
He had a mattress, a single twin bed
Yes.
mattress.
and had salt around it.
Yeah, where that's the only place he'd sleep was in the middle of the living room with salt all around
Yes,
it.
exactly.
And the old trailer was pretty run down.
Yes, it was.
I don't know kind of how it got that way, but it had a little addition. You could tell at one time there was some care there, but it was more just kind of a crash pad than anything.
Yeah.
And the new trailer that the family had was, I remember, being pretty nice.
It was very
really
nice.
nice.
It was very nice.
And then real quick, the other 2 that, I mean, they're not in any particular order.
Yeah, that's right.
The doctor, how about the occult story with the doctor that was here locally? Dr. P with the family, and we found a lot of weird stuff in the woods.
Oh, okay, that was a doctor?
Dr.
What?
P.
Yes,
Oh.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's a good one.
Dr. Pepper.
That's a good
Dr.
one.
Pepper.
All
And
right.
then, of course, the New Orleans story, which we have plenty of New Orleans stories, but this one was when something come in the room.
That's a really good one, and we
You might as
followed
well
it.
go
And we
ahead.
followed it all through.
That's a
one-
quick one you can.
That's
can
one we
get
need
through.
to tell.
Yeah,
That was a good
go
one.
ahead and kind of go through the highlights of that one.
Well, here's now these we'll tell them a little more theatrical, I think. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll get some.
But-
I'll put some production value in it.
But this story was different than most, and I'll tell you, we was down there to investigate Lafitte's guest house and spend time there in New Orleans. And when we first arrived there, it was kicked off where the commode was overflowed in the back part we were staying, and
Yes, it did.
it flooded the room and flooded our clothes, so we got upgraded to the suite.
It ruined some carpets. is
Yeah,
what it
we
is.
got upgraded to the suite, and we was there that. So we spent the day down there, and we was about the second night, and we decided to conducting our investigations, and we was in the main room, and I'll never forget it. It was James on the bed. He was actually stretched out on the bed. Hump and our case manager and Jake were sitting on the floor, right?
Correct.
Was sitting on the floor, and I think I was sitting on the edge of the bed, and it was literally just like on a TV show or a movie where the temperature literally dropped, where you almost could say you could see your breath. I mean, it was just like you would see on TV.
And this was like what, late July?
It was in July.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was hot.
It was in July.
Smoking hot outside.
And if you've ever been to New Orleans in late July, yeah, the humidity, all that.
Blue jeans will stick to you.
And we're in the quarter, yeah.
We're in the quarter, and it is literally ice cold in that room. I mean, and it went from being normal to ice cold instantly.
Quite pleasant, actually.
And the vibe and the feeling of us being in that room, in that place, was almost as if we instantly went in that room somewhere else. And that's something I've thought about many times, and I can't get away from that feeling, is that it's almost like we was in that room someplace else.
It's a super weird feeling. It's only happened a handful of times, but yeah, it's like you're outside of time.
Yes, everything.
It's kind of the best way to put it. Like if you've never experienced it, it's very difficult to truly evoke, that feeling, but it's like whatever was happening outside was wholly and separate from us. Like if someone would have ran through that door, who knows where they would have been, sort of a deal.
Exactly. And it was almost as if like you was going into a tunnel where your ears got full and everything.
Yeah.
And as we was sitting in there ice cold, the door, it was as if it wasn't that door, because you could actually hear the old timey click, click, click.
Yeah.
And the door opened, and we could psychically feel and see this entity in our room.
It was, for me, it was like super weird because I don't really get it like that, but it's like imagine what I imagine hallucinating to be like almost, because you're seeing something and you're getting that kind of visual data normally,
Yes.
but your mind is superimposing something over what you're seeing.
Absolutely. Everybody
And-
could sense it, but they sense it the only way they knew how.
The craziest thing is everybody saw the same thing.
Yes.
So like you can put it down to maybe a mass hallucination, but really how plausible is that? And we weren't even drinking at that point, I don't think.
We was not
No.
drinking that night.
Yeah, which is weird, but in the quarter, but
You know,
So you have to be how drunk to hallucinate? You know what I mean?
yeah. But as we sat there, we could sense this entity, which was a man. He had a top hat, he had a cane, and it was exactly how we have described Jack before. Almost like a Saint Germain, how he's been described, and it was right back to a certain type of vampire type entity, and it came through our room. It circled out, and for some reason, I don't remember walking downstairs to the street. I just remember being in the street.
Now that you mention it, I don't either. I remember us getting up to go, but I don't
Yes.
remember actually walking down the street.
I never
Did
remember.
we ever open the door up and look out the balcony?
Yes.
Did
Yes.
we get out? Did we get out of the room and go through the back? We
No.
didn't go outside the balcony or nothing. did we?
Yeah. You
We
opened,
looked out.
You opened the door and went out on the balcony.
Balcony.
When it left our room from the balcony.
Balcony.
Correct.
And Hump followed it.
Yeah.
And And then I remember we said, let's go follow it. And then I remember us all standing up, but I don't remember the process of going downstairs to outside.
And you wonder, is that your brain like editing out useless, information it deems like you don't need anymore?
Yeah.
Or is like, what is that?
Yeah. And then we're in the middle, we're on Bourbon Street, and we're standing in the middle of the street, all of us, and it's quiet in the city. There's no partying, no music, no nothing.
I remember like hearing something very distantly, but we were like a few blocks from Bourbon. Like we're right next door to Lafitte's, tavern.
It's on Bourbon.
We're on Bourbon.
Yeah. I'm
Bourbon
sorry.
Street.
When I say a few blocks from Bourbon, I mean like from like what you imagine Bourbon.
Oh, yes.
is.
Yeah.
Like we're in the residential part of Bourbon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we could see that entity up on a balcony, maybe like a street up to the right.
Yeah.
And then he would hop from balcony to floor to ground. And we followed him all the way straight ahead. I think it's Esplanade.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have not encountered anybody else. We've not heard any music, not seen any cars.
Nobody walking?
No walking, just that entity and us all following him. We followed it down, I think, went back to Royal Street, and then all the way straight down where you have the marketplace is.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, we could just see him hop buildings, and then we could hear him bang his cane.
Kind of rooftop to rooftop.
Yes.
deal.
We could hear his bang his cane. And something I'll never really forget is that we made our way. Now, we're still on a busy part, and there's no cars moving.
Mm-mm.
There's no sound. There's nothing really going on. We're just following this thing.
And it's like 2 a.m. So
Yes.
that's not that late for
No,
Bourbon,
not from
really.
New Orleans.
No, not at all. There still should have been cars.
Yeah, because bars are still open.
Yeah. Well, we made our way to Jackson Square where the cathedral is, and it's still empty. Nobody, I don't remember anybody, I don't remember encountering it, but I remember seeing that beam.
Mm-hmm.
And we're following him. And right where we got to Pirates Alley, he's gone.
Didn't everybody's ears pop?
Yes. And then before we know it, we are being accosted by a lady wanting money.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then there's sound, there's music, there's noise, and as normal sound in New Orleans, it was amplified to us. To me, it was sounded like it was way louder than normal.
It was like you had earplugs in and you took them out.
Yes. And I remember us looking at that lady in shock, like, where did you come from? What are you doing?
She just kind of was there all of a sudden.
Yes. And here's the crazy thing. I remember walking away from her. I don't remember walking back to the room rest of the way, and I remember waking up the next day.
That's about, I don't remember walking back either. You remember walking back, David?
You know what?
It's a long
I'll be
time
honest
ago.
with you.
But-
Not
but-
only the walk back was weird, the more I think about that lady, when she walked up, was creepy ass weird.
Yes.
And then you're right, the noise was weird, but why did all of our ears start hurting? And it was
That's what
before
I
the
really
lady
remember.
appeared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
It was like a ringing of the ears. And it was everybody in the group. It wasn't just us three, it was everybody. Which is very strange.
It was everybody in that group.
It was.
Yeah. There were how many of us? Maybe.
1, 2, 3.
It was 3, 4. It was 6 of us.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And one of the members, another couple that was with us, wife was an absolute non-believer, and to this day she won't talk about that experience. Jamie,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That
she
scared
will not
me.
talk
That's
about that
right.
Like,
experience.
okay, you know how people say, like, this came in and I felt something very malicious. Well, it wasn't, a bad feeling.
No,
it was
it
just
wasn't.
completely alien.
It was completely alien.
Like nothing. You kind of instinctively know this isn't something that exists naturally.
Yes, exactly.
Just kind of a weird. I shouldn't be seeing this sort of a thing.
Yes.
See, it's different for me. It was more like an invite. It was more like, hey, I'm here. Come on with me. That's how I felt. It appeared. It was a creepy feeling. The room went weird. It was there, and it was like, follow me. And we did.
Yeah, we did.
And there was a lot of strangeness that went with it.
But again, we'll get that completely fleshed out for you.
Correct.
So,
Hey, I got a good one, Shawn.
All right.
This question was just sent to me.
Okay.
Husband, wife, and friends are at a house. 2 out of the 5 people see something very weird, or I'm going to use the word paranormal.
Okay.
Why is it that some people can see it and the others can't?
Here's the thing. It is not uncommon for you to be sitting like in a, and this is not maybe not paranormal yet, but it's not uncommon that, let's say I'm sitting at a red light and there's cars all around you. And let's say there's a car to the right of you, car to the left of you, cars behind you. But your car is the only one that sees the big UFO in the sky above you. You know, same thing paranormal wise. You know, as you sit there, let's say us 3 sitting here. Jake's sitting there, and Jake's in a complete relaxed state. He's had a few drinks, smoked a doobie. You know, he's sitting there. He's completely relaxed. Me, I'm sitting here relaxed. I done had a jack, and I'm relaxed, and I'm full. So I'm laid back. You hadn't done around from your day. You got 100 things on your mind. You just kind of showed up, and you're not relaxed.
checking Facebook.
Yeah, well, the 2 in a relaxed state is gonna have the experience because our spiritual motor is set to a vibrational tone that we're gonna experience. We're gonna see that. We're gonna have that experience. Now where you're not relaxed is not gonna have that same experience and see it.
That makes sense.
And even the differences of people can be very different. Like, whereas, say, Shawn, you might see something I don't, but I'll feel it.
Yes, absolutely.
I just, for some reason, don't see stuff.
Yeah. You know, I was telling somebody our Bigfoot story not too long ago, and you know, where we lived before, we lived way out in the woods, and we had a fire pit, and somebody said you can't call a Bigfoot. And I was like, I can call it. You can call a Bigfoot, and it was a big joke. So the kids and I, we would say, all right, show us. So what we did is that we sat by the fire. We didn't play any music, and we relaxed. Kids feel like we just sat there and relaxed for like 10 minutes.
And Shawn took out his phone and dialed 1-800-BIGFOOT.
That's right. That's right. And I was like, hey, partner, will you come by and drop off a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we sat there and relaxed about 10 minutes, right? Then we got our wooden bat and we went to the tree and we started hitting the bat with the tree, banging it. And then we left.
You hit the bat with the tree.
No, we used the bat to hit the tree.
I'm sorry, that was a great image.
And then there was a tree stump, and on that tree stump we left a cut up apple and a cut up peach on the tree stump. And I love peaches. That tells you I believe it works. I left the peaches there. So we went to bed that night and just left it alone. Well, up in the morning, our dogs were going crazy at our back door, and we had a porch right there. And we opened the door, and there was a puppy right there on our door. And the puppy was extremely young. It was so young you had to bottle feed it, and it couldn't have got up on the porch. So the kids instantly assumed it was the Bigfoot brought the puppy. Well, the next morning, the kids insisted that we had the puppy in the house. We insisted that we'd go check out the stump, and of course, the apples and peaches was gone. Wasn't no remnants. And it's out in the woods, so animals definitely could have got it. Kids swore it to the Bigfoot and everything else. Well, by that happened, I think we did that. Well, toward the end of the school year, I'm sitting in class, and a young man came up, and he was like, everybody's walking out. He said, I need to talk to you. This kid is a valedictorian, college, great musician, a super respectable kid. He's like, I got to talk to you about something. I was like, okay, what's up? He's like, man, I know you're not going to believe me, but I just have to tell you. I was on my way home, and he was coming from Troy, and he said I cut through, and I was going my home by your house. As I sat there at the four-way stop at the Crossroads, he didn't say Crossroads, but it's the Crossroads. I sat there at the four-way stop. I saw, which I thought was somebody in your yard, and when my headlights hit it and I went forward. He said it was a big, hairy-looking monster, like a Bigfoot. But he said, but it all had gray hair. It was a gray-haired Bigfoot. He said it was about 6 foot tall. He said, I know you probably don't believe me, but I swear to God, I seen it in your yard. He was like, it had left no doubt. My headlights hit it. I seen it. He seen me, and I floored it and got out of there. And it never ran. It just stood there and watched him go by. And he seen it. Now, hadn't seen any accounts. I had some weird experiences, but that was a Bigfoot story by my house. The one thing I did have weird happen after that was that our chickens kept, which could have been a fog, but our chickens kept coming up missing.
Yeah.
Missing out of the cage?
Yeah.
No, they was free
They were free
rangers,
range.
and then they
Oh,
go
I
to the
thought they
cage
had
at
a
night.
cage. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Strange.
yep, and that's my local Bigfoot.
All right, I got one to segue into this.
All right.
Are we into a realm of spiritual war?
Jake, you want to answer that?
Well,
Why?
The only
why-
good way to answer that.
Let me help you out with this, Jake. Why is doing good things bad and doing bad things praised right now?
Because bad is doing
society.
good.
yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? Think about that. And two, we're under a spiritual attack. I think across every spectrum possible in the United States, for every American, they're under attack somehow.
You'd almost have to say the world at this point.
The world.
But see,
Yeah.
let's just look at what we got in our hometown or our home state. Because my theory with that is just because you go to church on Sunday don't mean you're going to heaven. You got to walk the walk, talk the talk.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be spiritual ready, spiritual minded. I mean, what do you think about that? Are we under some type of attack, or is this just how the cards are being dealt to us?
I think here's my crazy suggestion on this. I think the door was cracked a long time ago, and I think as the years went by, the I guess that ram, that eggshell of the spiritual world and our world was slowly cracked and kicked open, and now we're definitely we're being invaded. I think the attack's over. We have been invaded, and nobody knows what's right. Nobody knows what's wrong. The reality between our world and that world is all meshed together, and we see evil. We can see evil anywhere in the world. All we have to do is look to a corner. It's there.
Shit, it's here.
It's everywhere.
Evil's here. It's all around us. And you know what? The Cowboys are not winning.
No.
That's what pisses me off. Think about it, Jake. The good guys are not winning anymore with anything from business, social acceptance, education, spiritual awakenings. We're not winning.
No.
A handful of us are,
Well, we
but
talked.
the majority's not.
So many people that was waking up are completely gone back to sleep.
What's it going to take for another awakening, though, Shawn? What's got to happen?
I don't.
Another 9/11?
No.
Another war? I mean, look at our youth and kids, and you see it every day.
Yeah, it's bad.
But what's going to fix it?
What's going to fix it would be a meteor.
What?
Exactly.
An earthquake?
Yeah, I think we're at a point in the world that something is going to have to happen. And I think it's pretty clear. I think, and I can't tell you the last time I've even looked into this stuff, and I'm probably fixing to completely ruin it. And everybody say how wrong I am. You're probably right, but isn't a part before the Antichrist comes, the world's supposed to get like this, and he's supposed to straighten it up.
Yeah.
So basically, we're falling into the prediction where we are lost, and the world's going crazy right now. But everything that's happening in the world, we've talked about on our shows. We knew it. You knew it was coming. What's happened in our individuals? I think you've seen that the values are gone in people. That spiritual light we used to talk about is dimmed because people are confused. I think whenever you realize and you have a faith in God, you also know who your enemy is. And if you don't have a faith in God, you don't have an enemy. So your enemy basically consumes your life, and you don't have a way to acknowledge it and attack it. And I think you're seeing that happen in every household in the United States and pretty much the world.
It rids you not having that faith rids you of a sense of purpose
Yes.
that is necessary for you to feel at peace with yourself. Whether you want to be like God exists or God doesn't exist, there is a definite psychological need within human beings to have that.
Think about it. You look around, the enemy, let's say you got different, let's just say you got different satanic groups, ritual groups and all that. I'm trying to dance around what they are. Whatever they're doing, the evilness is being embraced in life.
Yeah.
What's going on with the sex trafficking, everything else? There is a pure sinister, evil intention among the human race.
Hell yeah, there is. There is. Look at Hollywood. Look at the pedophiles in America.
Yeah.
Look at the child porn. Look at the sex trade trafficking.
Don't look at the child porn. Don't look at the child porn.
Oh yeah, don't look at it.
No,
Don't look
what
at
I'm
it.
saying is it's everywhere. and it's almost damn acceptable.
Yeah.
America is under attack. And go ahead and get mad. The churches have failed us.
Yeah.
The churches have failed us. I said it. The churches are not attacking in the streets. If you go out and you say, I'm a Christian, look at me. You get persecuted for it now.
Well,
I mean, just look at what's coming out in Hollywood with all the child sex acts and all that crazy shit. Look at the drug trade. Drugs. We have a horrible epidemic in America now that when I joke around and say we're into the zombie apocalypse, we are.
Oh yeah.
Opiates. Crime up.
That's a huge problem.
Crime is up. Mental health is up higher. And nobody, what's going to happen? Our kids have no future. The economy's probably going to shatter. Don't be fooled by the media. The media is lies.
Yeah.
The middle class working man is strung out.
What's that, Jay?
Well, I was trying to tell you silently. We've recorded 53 minutes.
Thank you.
Oh, great job. Go ahead, Jay.
I mean, the middle class people and families are hurting. Our kids are out of control. Bullying's at an all-time high, which bullying. Did we have that shit when we were growing up?
We did,
No.
but we handled it differently.
Kids live in a computer age world where everything's at their fingertips, video games, the news is manipulating us. It's all lies.
Yeah.
And where's the out for it, Jake? And
We have to
going, well, what
adapt.
the hell does this have to do with the paranormal? Hell, everything. Everything it does. It really has to do with everything. The occult is in our face at all times, and everybody's just, ha, ha, ha. And I'm going to throw this out there. Anybody seen the new Taco Bells?
Yeah.
Anybody seen the new Taco Bell ads? What do the Taco Bell buildings look like? Has anybody really paid attention to the Taco Bell buildings, the new ones, with the lights, the way they do the lights on the side of the buildings and the emblems that are displayed in the middle of the lights? Has anybody really looked at it? And look at their marketing campaign. What is their marketing campaign? Illuminati. Everything's Illuminati. So listeners, when you go to McDonald's or Taco Bell, look at the way the building's designed. It is going to blow your mind. Look at the emblems on the side of the buildings of Taco Bell's.
I'm gonna have to.
I'm telling you, you're going to freak out.
I hadn't paid much attention.
Come on. It's all in our faces at all times. And it's so irritating. It is very irritating because we're under attack. It's shoved in our face. Our children are going to suffer from it.
Yeah.
The economy's out of balance. The news media is just all over the place with everything. And you know what? And gas is going up and nobody's complained a bit about it. It's gone up 54 cents in a month. and nobody said a word about it. Nobody bitches and complains about it.
Yeah. I hadn't
You hadn't paid
noticed it.
attention to it, Shawn. Come on.
No, I hadn't.
You of all people.
I know. I figured you, of all people, with the traveling you do, you go, I know where the cheapest gas is in town.
Well, you know, it always goes up about this time when it gets ready for summer.
Yeah.
54 cents.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about 54 cents. I mean, I'm saying it goes up, though. I'm trying not to pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
Man, brother, I can't see how you can't not. I mean, you just miss it.
Because I'm blown
It is
away by
everywhere.
what's happening, what people are happening with people.
You just get disappointed. And
There's the ultimate disappointment. But you know what? I think for us doing this show the first time in several months, I think this is a pretty good one.
yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you for listening to our show. We'll be uploading this in the next few days on Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate everybody that sends us questions, checks us out, add us on Facebook, tell your friends about us. Probably going to have a couple of guests here soon, the next month or two. If you have questions, please email me, or you can get me up on Facebook. And I appreciate everybody that listens to us and listens to our stories. And everybody have a great night.